Hey, welcome back, guys. So we are at the, I think, sixth part of this series, of series called Learning Unity from the very basic part. So yesterday we have learned how to move this cube, how to change the transform position of the cube with automatically with the script. So in this video we are going to learn so many things. First of all, we have to learn how to rotate this cube. So let's get created a script called simple rotation. I'm just gonna name it simple rotation and drag and drop over the cube. Yeah, before creating a script, I'm just gonna tell you something. You should not add a space between the two words in naming the script. You should add an underscore, or you should don't add a space between script. It will give some bugs sometimes, or I don't know it has been updated or not, but sometimes I get bugs with it. So I'm just gonna you can just double click inside the project, or you can just double click on the cube. I have added the script on the cube. So first of all, I'm just gonna get rid of this all method. So we have learned we have to use a vector to the position of the cube just to move that cube. So in the yesterday video, we get a public transform name cube, and which will help us to assign the script with this transform. So in this script we have today we are going to learn how to automatically make it assigned with the cube. So we have applied the script on the same cube, and the transform is also on the same cube. So I'm just gonna make it private. So private does not show here in the private transform and name it cube. And this is also not the right method or the formal method, but I'm just gonna create a new function called start and just get rid of this void private, because it doesn't work with Unity. So yeah, as we have talked about, the function start does only happen at the first frame of the game. So we need to assign the transform is equal to cube, which is this cube, at the very first frame of the game. So for doing that, we should assign that cube, which is this cube, which is equal to this, which is this object, the object which you have added a script to, which is the cube, this dot transform dot get component in, and we are getting a component which is the transform is a component, mesh render is a component, box collider is a component. You can get whatever component of assigned to this transform. So we are just gonna get a component called transform. But yeah, this was one method, and complete the add two curly bracket and complete the sentence. This was the one method, but we are not gonna go with this method either, because we are just gonna we are just gonna tell how to save time inside the scripts. So I'm just gonna create a new public vector3 and name it rotation amount. Okay, and just create a new void called update, which will update at every frame of the game, like we have talked about in the first basic scripting video. So just like that, inside the up want to rotate this cube. So you can just write like this dot transform, which is we will just like that we can get the component transform with this by writing only this, but it will only happen when the script is attached to the same game object which the transform is also attached. So this is transform dot, we have to rotate the object. So it has a property called a rotate. So rotate property gets first vector3 and the float, which is rotation speed or something, whatever you call. So we are just gonna create new public float, which is rotation speed. Okay, just like that we have created it. You can check the properties of every transform or whatever on the scripting documents available on the internet, available by Unity itself. So first we are gonna assign the vector3 and then hit comma and add the rotation speed, which is float. So this would be the rotation amount, which is rotating angle, and this would be the rotation multiplier, which is rotation speed. So we are gonna complete the sentence. So just like that, if you hit save this and head back to Unity, so the script will take some time to load it, depending upon your system, how much time it's gonna take. So if you want to rotate the object on y-axis, like if you want to rotate by 60 degree, and the rotation speed should be 2, and whatever you want you can place it. And now when you hit play, just like that, object will start to rotate. You can see the object has been start to rotate. Okay, this is not doing well cause okay, sorry, I've just added another component because I was just preparing for the video. Okay, so just like that, the object has been start rotating. If you switch off this script, the object will stop rotate, and just like that it will start rotating again. So now if you increase the speed something like 10, you can see that the cube is not moving with the constant velocity, because this is a frame dependent update function is a frame dependent function, and we are have variable frames, which is released to which is result in the variable velocity of the rotation of the cube. So to make this rotation time dependent, this function time dependent, you just have to multiply the float with component called time dot delta time. So the time dot delta time is a value of float which just changes while the frame rate of your PC changes, and it just make it all you have to know that it just make the float time dependent. So when you hit save for now, and when you head back to Unity, it will take some, and again it will take his time to load the script. And now when you hit play, okay, now when you hit play, the object should start rotating, but I don't know why it's not. Okay, the amount was too slow. So when you add a higher rotation speed like this 100, so the cube will start with very smoothly and a constant velocity. So I think this is it for the rotation. So the next thing we are going to talk about, I'm just going to remove this component from the cube. So next thing we are going to talk about animating object inside the Unity. So I'm just going to put it some above the grid, so you don't need to do that. I'm just doing it. So for animating it, I'm just going to use two objects, like I'm just going to add a sphere and put it right over the cube, something around here. Yeah, yeah, like here. So if you want to animate both the things in the single animation clip, so you have to make someone parents of another. So I'm just gonna make the cube parent of the sphere. So doing that, for doing it, you should have select the sphere and drop on the cube. So the cube will be the parent of the sphere. So now when you select the cube and move it, both the sphere and the cube start moving. And when you move the sphere, the only sphere will start to move. So I'm just gonna start with animating. So for starting with animating, you don't have any window for animation. So to start a window for animation, go inside the window, animation and animation, or you can just click Ctrl and 6 to pop up the window of animation. I'm just gonna drag it and drop in the besides the project panel. So if you for animating object, you have to add a component called animator to the cube or whatever object you want to animate, and you also have to create a animator controller. I have just created a simple animation folder inside the project panel, and I'm just gonna delete this script. Okay, so whatever. For creating animator controller, you have to create a right click on the project panel and create, and go inside. We have option called animator controller. So I'm just gonna name it cube. Yeah, just like that, we have animator controller right here. So inside cube, you can drag this animator controller and drop under this controller option in the animator control component. So now you can just create an animation clip. I'm just gonna simple animation, just save it, and just like that, we have the timeline. We have so many options for animating an object. So to start animating, you have to just click on this record button to record whatever movements you are animating. So I'm just gonna go further in the timeline, and if you move this object, we got two keyframes. The first one was the initial position of the object, and this one was the final position. So you can just animate however you want, or you can just rotate this one, or you can just go inside the sphere, and now you can move the sphere, and yeah, just like this. Okay, so we are gonna see the how animation is looking. So just like that, the animation is working properly, and it's too fast for now. So if you want to decrease the speed, you can just select all by inside the animation window. You can stop the recording now, and if you hit Control A, or you can just select manually, and if you just drag this up to like I'm just gonna make it for 3 seconds, and if you go here, and now when you hit play, you can see the animation is working really properly and very smooth way. So now if you can see, we have animator controller. So we are going to talk about the animator controller now. Where we have animator window, inside the window option we have animator window. So just like that, we have the animation clip, which is simple animation. So for now, I'm just going to create a new state, which is empty state, in which state the object will do nothing. So I'm just going to make it as a default here. So now when you hit play by clicking on this runtime version, so the camera is not focusing on the cube. So Control Shift F to focus on the focus as the scene view. So now when you hit play, now you can see the animation is not playing. So if you want to play the animation with the script, you should check the name for this, which is simple animation. You have to remember this, the actual name. So I'm just gonna do it inside the simple rotation script. Okay, so we are just gonna get rid of everything we have done in the script. So for animating any object, we have to get a reference of this component called animator here. So we are just getting component public animator, which is named as same as this, and you can name it whatever you want, like cube anim. I'm just gonna name it cube anim. And now inside the inside void update, okay, this again happened. I'm just gonna get rid of this. Inside void update, if you want to play this animation on clicking any key, like if you hit P and the animation should start running. So it is simple to do inside the Unity. You just have to create a new if statement. If statement is just creating if and two simple brackets, and inside this if statement, if you input dot get key down, which is any key down. If you click a key at the point, this is the input. So inside this you have to create another curly bracket, and the key you have to apply the key code dot any key whatever you want. You can add a P or F or R. I'm just gonna go with G. Okay, whatever you can add this here inside this key code. So for now, you should just remember this, and you have to remember this if you want to learn the coding. So simply you have to remember this. So after clicking this, we want to just play this clip, which is currently which is empty clip. We have to play this simple animation clip. So you can just we have the reference for the animator. You can just get reference after this, and then hit you can add play, and inside the bracket you have to add two exclamation marks, and you have to name the script, which is simple animation. You can just copy this from here, or you can just go back and simple animation. I think this is right, simple animation. Okay, so you can just hit complete the sentence and head back to Unity. So again, script will take its time to load up, and now when you back to scene window, inside the cube we will add a script which is simple rotation script. And now we have option called animator. You can just drag this animator down. You can just drag the cube down. It will just get the component called animator. So now when we hit play at the start of the frame, the animation is not gonna play, but when we hit key G, the animation will directly start to play. So just like that, animation is looping, so it will just start to play. So just like that, we have created a new script called controlling the animations with your key button. So I guess this was it for this video. We have learned how to rotate the object, how to animate the object, and you can play with this to make a simple looking effect. But now you cannot make the game with this. But yeah, surely you can make a simple effects with this. So I think this is it for this video. We will meet in the next one. Till then, bye bye. Okay, before saying bye bye, I want to say that if you are liking this series, you should subscribe the channel, and if you have any doubts, you can just DM me on Instagram, or you can just comment down below. I will solve your doubt just like that. So for now, bye bye.